So, I guess we are live. Hello, hello, hello. I need to move down here, okay. How are you in Glasgow? Yeah. And I'm still figuring out some things because I have a new studio kind of thing. I rearranged everything, so please forgive me if not everything is perfect today, but we will get better and better next time. We have probably a little bit of a side sound thing. I did not manage to filter that out yet, but we will do that next time. So, can anybody give us a little bit of a feedback if sound-wise we are okay? Or yeah, you can't hear Dave. Uh-huh. Okay. I think I found the problem. Can you talk to me? Yeah. Now.
Yep, someone said, Andy okay, Dave muted.
Okay.
So no one's heard any of my inane ramblings. So hopefully Andy's sorted it out.
Yeah, I just clicked, I hopefully clicked the right button and you can continue to talk. And let's see.
So if I'm talking now, can we have a thumbs up or a thumbs down if we can hear Dave speaking now? Hopefully you can hear me okay.
Looks okay.
Seems okay?
Yeah.
I can see little things moving here. So I'm going to ask you again, Leon, give us that nod or shake if you can hear me now.
Okay.
Dave is okay.
Good. So yeah.
Good. So apologies about that slightly staggered start there. As we said, he's getting used to his new technology in his new studio space. And every time he moves it, there's an awful lot of cables to unplug and replug in as well.
And since Leon is on the other side, I also show that little nice graphics here on a big scale. Yeah? That is actually a very nice graphics. Like always, we had a lot of nice graphics posts on Instagram recently on that golden ticket thing made by our beloved Rebecca Ning Yen. If someone wants to follow in Instagram her, she's doing not only these graphics, she's from Taiwan, graduated in the UK from the art, university?
Yeah, I think she studied in London. She studied art in London, didn't she, and graduated in London. But she's very talented and very good at doing slightly abstract drawings. So.
And this time we added, because everything is about AI, we added actually AI to animate, and she did it by herself, so an artist not shying away from artificial intelligence, getting into artificial intelligence and animating the thing she has done by hand additionally to give it a little extra twist. So super happy to see that. And I think time will come that we probably introduce her and bring her into one of our calls, I suggest. That would be probably a good idea.
We should bring her into one of the lives.
St. Martin, yes, she studied in St. Martin University in London, illustration, and that's what her profession is, illustrating books and doing all our abstract graphical work and storytelling when it comes to this side. So let's jump into what we do. There will be more nice graphics on the way in our slides. And what is the topic here for today? Topic obviously is golden ticket campaign. What is that? The new watch being announced tomorrow. What could it be? So I leave it to you, Dave, to talk, because since people can hear you now, everything should be good.
Absolutely. So the golden ticket campaign, what is this? We've been running it for a couple of weeks now. So just yesterday, in fact, no, this is Thursday.
Mhm.
On Tuesday, we published part 2. So 2 days ago, we published part 2 of this story called The Golden Ticket. And really what we decided was we wanted to explore and discuss the use of precious metals, predominantly gold, being used in watches, and talk about why gold is used, what advantages it has, and also how HORAGE as a business deals with gold and how we deliver gold to a different standard, shall we say. Not the material itself, but how we actually deliver gold watches to the market. And this is a big point of discussion in our business, and we know that lots of people who love their watches have an affinity with gold, whether it's white gold, which is more subtle, or yellow gold, which is more obviously gold, being gold coloured, whatever it is. But it usually comes with a very, very significant price premium. And what we wanted to do is we wanted to take and open up and be transparent about this material and what we do with it with HORAGE. I think it's fair to say, Andy, when you see a watch from most watch companies, say in steel, and then you see the same watch but in gold, it's usually quite a lot more expensive. Not a little bit, a lot of it more expensive.
And I got a totally new relationship with gold. I'm coming from a regular family, it was never a real option to to buy gold and put it somewhere. And I remember I was a kid and I won in a raffle on somewhere on a market, 5 grams of gold, probably 40 years ago. And it was a golden goose. I remember it was called a golden goose. And I won that, and I think I still have it somewhere in my drawer. And as a kid, it didn't say much to me except that it shines very nice. And over the years, I started to understand what it actually means. And then some people who know our history, they know that we have been involved indirectly in a gold refining company. And I got to know a little bit more about that industry, having an inside look. And I started to understand what it actually is, and that it has very unique properties. And it's not that it also attracts a lot of criminal energy. We also need to be clear on that. Gold has always been the subject of wars and anything. It also easily can lead to a money grab when it comes to watches. So we're seeing one and the same watch having 2 different, very, very different prices. And needless to say, you can do the numbers, and then you do the numbers and say, how much gold is there in there now? We had a nice discussion in our forum about what is the value of a watch. If I add all the brass and stainless together, of course that will not make the value of the watch. There is some more in it. But how much, the question is actually the added value, or how much is a fair added value? Yes, when you deal with gold. And I think a watch is a nice object to store a certain amount of gold inside, and it doesn't tarnish, it's very resistant, it has a very specific look which you actually cannot imitate. And so it's worth owning something like this, but when you can never afford it, then it's just a distant dream. And we are known for actually products which you can afford. Needless to say, currently the gold price is not in favor of cheap acquisitions. And what I've also learned, the gold price never, over the time since people know gold, it never went down, as far as I can see.
Certainly has never gone down in any meaningful sense. And you're right. Let's definitely set expectations. Gold as a material is just expensive. Unfortunately, gold in itself is expensive. I think currently it's in and around the 70 something US per gram. So we're talking an expensive material. There's no two ways to hide this. But it is a material that if you're able to pay a price for it that is in and around the price that gold trades for, at least you know you have something that will retain value. Because, we hear people often talking about watches as an investment. Now, if a watch is made with brass, stainless steel, and these materials in themselves are relatively inexpensive, certainly compared to gold. And most of what you're paying for with any watch is the engineering and the time and the manufacturing and the brain power of the watchmakers and engineers that design that product. And I don't think anyone is upset about paying for that. But the actual product itself, the value of the parts or the material is less than the price you paid for it. Whereas with gold, if you have something in gold does, as a material, retain its value. The difference is that we wanted to be open and transparent and say, yes, gold is expensive, but we want to break open what actually is involved in gold and make sure that when we price a gold watch, it's priced in a way that is fair to the consumer who buys it. We feel that it was uncomfortable for us to add a huge margin just to gold itself, because ultimately anyone can go and buy gold if they want to, and there's different things. Yes, working with gold is expensive, and sure, we have to factor that into the cost, but what we don't want to do is just say, here is 50 grams of gold, everyone can do the math, X number of grams times X number of dollars, that's the value of the gold. Yes, aside from the working, we didn't feel it was fair to just multiply the value by 3, 4, maybe even 5 for some brands, just because they can. And really what we wanted to do is break down those barriers and try and have an open and transparent conversation about the use of gold in watches. Our gold watches, they are not inexpensive. We're talking around the 20,000 Swiss franc mark for a gold watch. But we feel that we can sleep well at night knowing that a good amount of that value is purely the true market value of gold.
And what makes it then additionally expensive when we use it? I mean, we are treating gold like a commodity, which is actually it is. I mean, gold is a commodity. It is traded on a stock exchange, and there's a public price being formed. So that is what we actually should do. Of course, steel is also traded publicly, but it is not as a price relevant in a watch. The amount of steel you use in a watch is not relevant in order to influence the price of a product. But in that case, when you see that graph, when 75 Swiss francs for a gram of gold, and how many grams are there, roughly?
I think we are around the 50 gram mark in our gold.
So that's a 3,500 thing which you cannot change unless the market's going down. And what comes additionally into the problem? I mean, gold is relatively easy to machine, and by the way, it's not gold pure. We are talking about a gold mixture, an alloy as you call it, in order to make it harder. So you need to actually alloy that. That is something which costs money. So you're adding cost to the alloying process. Then you need to laminate it, which you call it. You're actually forging the material to condense it correctly for after treatment. Then you need to make raw pieces out of that. You're stamping out pieces. The stamped over parts go back into refining process. That's actually melting it back. That's why you do stamping and not CNC milling for doing the blanks. Because oil is contaminating usually the gold, you cannot just melt it again. And then you go on a CNC machine and you machine it. And the problem with that thing is that you actually you need to have a machine which is only doing gold, because you need to recycle actually the scrap out of that. And this scrap recycling goes then back into refining, so then you're splitting the materials, make pure gold again, and then you do the whole thing again. But that means that there is a processing cost involved, and this processing cost is what we handle in the most efficient way, I would say, and we add to the cost of our product. And at the end of the day, what you pay is a regular product price of what we have, plus the commodity price of the gold, plus the alloying, raw material preparation and recycling process, and safety handling, and that's what makes the watch in its price. And I think
Absolutely.
that's a pretty fair thing to do.
Yeah, and I think people can see that as well. I think if we take a typical example, is I can see a watch on the market currently that sells for around the 7,000 franc mark in stainless steel, and if you want the same watch, technically same movement, in full gold, typically you would be looking at nearer 40,000 francs from this same brand. Now, 8,000 times better part of 4 gets you to around that 40,000 mark. Whereas with our models, you can see in steel, for example, with the Tourbillon 2, steel model is just over 10,000. I think it's 10,990 Swiss francs. And in gold, in the same specification, same dial, same movement, that is around the 18,000 Swiss franc mark. So not even doubling in price. Yes, we're not going to pretend that that's an inexpensive watch. That's still a huge amount of money for most people to consider. But we feel that if you're lucky enough to be able to consider gold as an option, then we believe that we, like with our movements and like with lots of the products, we offer very strong, fair and transparent value. So really, that's what the main message of what we do want to get across with this golden ticket campaign, because I think a lot of people maybe dismiss a gold watch straight off because they feel that maybe this is too strong language, but maybe they feel sometimes they're being ripped off. There's an awful lot of cost for not a lot of gain. We feel gold can certainly bring something to a watch. Andy mentioned gold's one of those materials that has a feel and a weight and even a colour that almost is impossible to replicate with anything other than gold. And it does definitely feel nice. I've not typically been a gold watch kind of person, but I do enjoy it when I get to handle a gold watch. There's something maybe a little bit special about it, and to be able to offer those at very fair, open pricing, I think is something that could maybe let people think about it. We've actually got a question popped in. I see. Who is there? Someone said, which gold colours are you planning to provide? Yellow, white and rose? Question mark. So at the moment we offer two. We offer what we call a 3N light rosa yellow gold. This is our classic 18 carat yellow gold. Gold has got various different naming conventions, but there's the 3N, there's ours used for rosa, for a red rose gold, but ours is a fairly traditional styled yellow gold called light rosa gold. We also offer a white gold option in the Tourbillon 2. Again, that's an 18 carat white gold, and it is a proper white gold alloy, which has been alloyed, I believe, and Sue might correct me, but I believe it has been alloyed with platinum in order to ensure that you have that whiteness through the material, as opposed to a yellow gold that has been plated or coated in order.
And by the way, it's very interesting to shoot a white gold watch, because in the camera, depending on the light you put it, you will see actually something gold shining through, although it's white. So super interesting.
Yeah.
So
it is. It's quite an unusual colour. It has a certain tonality to it that's quite difficult to explain until you actually see it. And yes, from a distance, many people say, well, can you tell the difference between white gold and, say, stainless steel? For sure, from a distance, maybe not so easily. but when you bring them close together, there's definitely quite a significant difference in the warmth and the tonality of the colour. And also some people like the idea of having gold, but not necessarily having to shout publicly about their watch being gold as well.
Was it around this whole ticket thing?
What was that, sorry?
What do we do? What do we tell them about the whole ticket thing?
Yeah, so the idea is that you will see part 3 of the story coming out next week. And what we're going to be doing is, for anyone who decides to buy a watch from us that happens to have a gold case. Now at this point, we only offer the Tourbillon 2 with a gold case, both white gold and yellow gold. But I'm not going to give it away, but there is going to be a model coming into the range later this year that will also be offered in a yellow gold and a white gold version as well. So any customer who purchases a watch from HORAGE that is gold in its case will get what we call a golden ticket. So they will be awarded 1 golden ticket. And we're going to have a competition or a prize giveaway later in the year. We're planning to do it once a year, every year, and whoever has the golden ticket, whose number gets pulled out of that lucky raffle, will win an extra special prize. I'm not going to spoil it here to say what all that is, but definitely keep an eye on our forum, and if you're on our email list, you'll get an update when we publish more information on the forum. But certainly within the next week, we will be announcing what that is.
And I have, there are actually 2 sides to the ticket. The one which will come, it's actually, I mean, who got a golden ticket, There is someone who wanted to visit some place.
I think, what's that story? Is that story called, is it maybe Willy Wonka? Is that the story?
Could be,
that
could
golden
be.
ticket in their
And that little boy loves chocolate, and I think we also love chocolate. So that was the one. That was the one background of this story, and the other one was before we actually had the Willy Wonka thing going forward. We actually, my idea was, when I have a gold watch and I'm somewhere in the middle of nowhere having a problem getting home because I got robbed, whatever, my money is gone, then I still have a gold watch which I can trade for a ticket flight home. That is the second part of the story.
That's the scene from that movie where you're stuck somewhere really remote and you think, I need to get home. How do I get home? I've lost my wallet. I've no money left. How do I get myself home? And that classic, my gold watch has some value. So yeah, for sure, that was part of the story we had in our heads as well.
And so it makes an interesting 2-sided story. And at the end of the day, I mean, we are coming here together to talk about what we do in good stories. That's what it is. Forum, by the way, we had some very good conversation there. I liked it. People really engaged, and happy to see more on that in the future. We are always happy when people post their ideas, and I think our response is also active. So please continue to do that. Very nice.
Absolutely. And if you're not registered, you can go onto the website and you can put your email address in for getting notifications. And we will not spam you, we promise. You will not get lots of emails from us, but when we do post something on the forum, we send a quick little email to say there's a new article on the forum and a link to it where you can go and check it out, have a read. And if you want to ask questions or if you want to engage in any of the conversation, you can absolutely right away on the forum and engage with us. And as Andy says, we try really hard between Andy, Sue, myself, Leon, Christina. We try to always give a reply, answer questions wherever they're posed for us as well. And we're pretty open, very open in fact, so we will always happily answer things. So part 2 is out this week, part 1 was last week, and coming up week after this, so I think Tuesday the 18th will be part 3 of the forum story about gold goes live in the forum, so keep your eyes out for that. We will also announce more about those magical golden tickets. The other thing as well is anybody who has already purchased a Tourbillon 2 in a gold case, you will not miss out. You will automatically be allocated a golden ticket as well. We thought that was only fair to make sure the customers who've already purchased a golden case are included. So keep your eye out for an email once we announce that if you've already bought a golden Tourbillon 2.
So now?
So that rounds out that. We've got a little surprise. We weren't expecting this, but the dials, or the sample dials for the Autark K2 small seconds arrived today, and Andy will be showing those. They will be coming onto your screens any minute now. They've literally just arrived. Andy's probably been threatened on punishment of death to not get his fingerprints on these, but these have arrived and I think they look absolutely fantastic. The red dial is the dial.
Wait a second, we are not yet there. I need to do transition because that's the new function. I can prepare actually the next look and then I press a button. And by the way, I have another camera. But that camera doesn't do what it should do.
Oh, you want to come back from that one, Andy? You've gone right, you've got the wrong slide up.
No, on the right side. We are on the right side, Dave.
There we go.
Yeah.
It's come up now.
Yeah.
And then
There it's coming.
So there we go. Hopefully you can now see these. So we have the red dial. This red dial is for the Chinese New Year 2024 edition. That's a model that's obviously only going to be available in 2024 to celebrate the Year of the Wood Dragon, that being the Chinese animal for 2024. That will also come with a special Chinese New Year dragon micro rotor as well. I think Sue may have just had a sample of it as well, so we'll be able to post some pictures of that.
When I turn around here now, then you see me only from the side. By the way.
We can kind of see, Andy, but you're breaking up a little bit actually.
Yeah.
I can see you on YouTube and you keep going
Yeah, I changed it already.
hopefully
It's coming back later.
You can also see the two other dials here. You can see the gradient grey dial, which I think is possibly my personal favourite, and we can see the salmon dial here on the right. So if you're looking at the screen, it's on the right hand side. So let us know what you think of these. I personally am a huge fan of the gradient grey. I think this, along with the grade 5 titanium case, looks absolutely fabulous. So these are the dials. We will be building up some prototypes, pre-production prototypes of the Autark K2 small seconds. We're just waiting on a batch of cases. We had a couple of tiny little refinements to the case. Obviously this case is shared with the Autark Tourbillon. The Autark Tourbillon and the Autark K2 both utilising the same case. You'll have seen the case if you watched any of our live streams where we talked about the prototype Autark Tourbillons. Waiting a few more cases so that we can put beautiful dials into those cases and built up. So let us know what you think. The salmon dial here I think has come out particularly well. The gradient though is definitely my favourite. And you maybe see in the camera now the texture that's actually on the red dial. Let's get this really nice, almost I would say, Andy, a micro blasted there. It's quite like a delicate coaster.
Which one should I show? The red one?
Yeah, if you go up to the red one.
I'm just tilting it a little bit towards the light.
So maybe any of you watching in the comments, anyone got any particular favourites or any colours?
See the quality of that camera now, yeah?
Pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, the problem is I need a stronger computer. I just recognized that all these cameras and screens are actually a little bit overloaded with on my CPU, and the CPU load 30% is too much for that now. So I need a better computer.
So now you've zoomed in on that red, you can really see that texture there. You know, it's absolutely fabulous. That's going to be such a great looking watch when it's built up, especially with that little Easter egg that is the Chinese New Year dragon on the rotor. Yeah, fabulous looking. I think that's super nice.
Pretty cool, yeah.
I'm pleased with that, I have to say. Also, that kind of color gradient, you've got that in front of you. On that sub-second track, it looks like there's a little bit of kind of color gradient from the dark to the light on there as well.
Yeah.
Super, super nice looking. So this will be the first
over to
watch that features the sub-seconds. Up to this point, all of the K2 models that were released.
Here we go with grey.
I've got the main center second. This will be the first that features the sub-seconds. Andy zooming in on the grey now, so the grey will come up. Yeah, see, I'm very much between the red and the grey, but I think I'm definitely still erring towards that fume on that grey. I think it's a great kind of multi-tonal grey colour. Some people might say it's a little bit boring, but you know, I'm Scottish. The weather here is always grey, so it will fit in perfectly. It will fit my colour palette absolutely perfectly. The only dial colour, and this is where Sue will be laughing, the only dial colour that could possibly be better than any of these would be bright orange. If David had his way, every dial would be bright orange.
And here we have a little bit more.
So this is the grey, and then Andy is going to focus over onto the salmon. So 3 very strong colours. Obviously remember, if the red does take your fancy, it is only going to be available in 2024, and after that it disappears from the range. And salmon dialed. So that's the final one. So yeah, really pleased with these. I think they look fabulous. Andy obviously has these beside him. I will see these hopefully next week when I'm back in Switzerland, but I am very excited because the Autark Small Seconds is possibly going to become David's new favourite HORAGE watch in the range. Currently I'm a super big fan of the grey dialed Super Seed GMT, but I think this is going to be my new favourite watch.
And by the way, I have another surprise here.
What have we got? Have we got the
Do we
rotor?
want to have another look on that red? This is crazy.
There we go. And he's just going to focus in on this. I think we've got a little bit of a longer lag today between us talking and hitting YouTube, but hopefully not too much in the way of interruption for anyone that's watching this. But Andy is zooming in again on the red. And what surprise have you got for us? What's your additional surprise?
Yeah, I wanted to show the additional surprise. Yeah, here we go.
That is a fabulous looking texture on that red. And these are applied appliques on here as well. And these applied appliques are...
But you are still looking on YouTube delayed, and I'm actually showing something new.
Yep, exactly. Well, I'm seeing it in front of me as well. So, there we go.
There we go.
We have K2 movement, and this K2 movement has got the Chinese New Year dragon rotor on there as well. We wanted to keep the Chinese New Year theme subtle, and that if you knew it was there, you did, but there's no great obviousness on the front. Obviously the red is a nod to the dragon and to China and to that Chinese New Year celebrations, but the big Easter egg is hidden on the rotor. So there it is, and I'm showing you. This is in a little plastic protector case, so that's why it's slightly blurry possibly when you're looking at it up close, but the movements are there. We won't be long with these. We're waiting on the production cases, and it looks like everything's running to time. So I think that the Autark K2s will be delivering as scheduled. So we just need to wait on those last little bits. A couple of guys putting comments in, really like the texture on the red dial. I agree, looks fantastic. And yeah, that rotor I think looks super nice. There we go, and we managed to get another little surprise there as well.
See, the day is full of surprises.
It is indeed.
Now you see it better. Yeah. It's always still it's still a lighting thing, but I think the resolution is much better on the pictures which come out now on YouTube because they have changed the lighting system.
Yeah, these look super good. Is this still your overhead kind of microscope camera you're using for this?
But I got some tips.
Definitely with the light, I think it helps.
Yeah, I got some tips now from how to actually put the light in a way that you don't have reflections, but still get the best out of it. Yeah, that's this little rotor. Nice little movement.
There we go. And this is, if I remember rightly, Sue and Celine did some research and found this kind of ancient drawing of the wood dragon, which is transposed onto this rotor. So yeah, I think it looks fantastic. So it's a nice little Easter egg, shall we say. You only know it's there when you look in the case back and see them.
Yeah. So
there we go.
I think we are good.
On to the surprise that we can only tell you a little bit about it. So we're not going to give it all away, but this is a new launch that is going to be coming to market, and it will be announced tomorrow. So on the main HORAGE website tomorrow, that being Friday the 14th at 2 p.m. Central European time, we will be announcing a new addition to the Tourbillon 2 family. And Andy, I think, is going to have the slide coming up.
Do I need to have this slide, the price slide, things like this, 25 pieces kind of thing?
Yeah. You could bring that one up. Yeah, absolutely. Or I think there's a picture before it that's maybe a little teaser.
Okay, good.
One slide, that one, Andy.
Yeah.
And this is a
thank
new
you.
addition
Here. That's a nice picture.
Currently, we offer the blue dial and we offer the white Grand Fou dial. But there's a new dial, as I mentioned, coming. Not just a new dial, but a slight revision as well. Very much a Tourbillon 2, with all of the features from the Tourbillon 2 that everyone will have seen before. There may be something extra, or maybe not extra, in this, how shall we call it, Andy, out of this world introduction to the Tourbillon 2 range. So that
looks very much something like that stone down there looks that it doesn't really come from Earth.
Who knows? But we can't give too much away, or we will have certain people killing us for giving the game away. But if we can jump onto that next slide then, Andy, we can give you a couple of little bits of information about it. So this, as I mentioned, Friday the 14th, 2 p.m. CET, so 1400. That will go live on the website. You will be able to check it all out, get the information. It goes on sale next Tuesday, that being Tuesday the 18th of June, again at 1400 CET. That's when you'll be able to actually purchase it. Pricing is going to start at 14,980 Swiss francs. That is in the steel case. That's the 904L steel case on the bracelet. You will be able to upgrade to either the yellow gold in 18 karat or the 18 karat white gold case for the additional golden ticket upgrade price point. If I remember rightly, the white gold version is going to be in and around the 21,000 Swiss franc mark, and the yellow one slightly more expensive, around 1,000 more expensive than the white gold. There's going to be a special early discount only for the first 14 days, so that will run from Tuesday the 18th through to the 2nd of July, where you can have a 1,000 Swiss franc discount if you order within that 14-day window. There are only 25 pieces of this available. Once they're gone, they're gone. There will be no more. So there's only 25 pieces, and that's across all case materials. Therefore, whether it's steel, yellow gold or white gold, a total of 25, not 25 of each. And stock will be shipping from September 2024, so not a long wait for anyone. We get there. Something else we should say about the dial. This dial is very special in terms of its construction. It's not what some brands might do in order to bring costs down. We have done it properly, and I can't say too much because it would give away possibly what we're talking about, but all the information will be on the website, which, as I say, goes live tomorrow. So that is something excited to keep your eyes out for. There's some amazing pictures. We've had our photographer Sunny has been over in Beale doing some studio photography of this product for the last 10 days roughly, and he's taken some exceptionally good photos, so they will also be on the website for folks to get a really good detailed look. Not just renders, not just CGI, these will be proper real photographs that will be on the website that you'll be able to have a look at as well. So anything else you want to say on that one, Andy, without giving away what it is?
It's worth to own it, I guess. And I think the whole combination of that dial, which is material which is not that available all the time, in combination with this golden ticket thing, is a killer story and a killer product. It is this one of these rare things which are worth really owning, I would say. And
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, let's see what people say. And
personally, for me, this dial, and I need to be careful because I nearly said what it was there. This dial with the white gold case and the black salmon skin strap looks absolutely exceptional. I think the two materials really do complement each other. But once it announces tomorrow, please do let us know what you think, and we can answer any questions you have. And if you're interested, it goes on sale next Tuesday, that being Tuesday the 18th at 1400 CET.
Good.
So I think that broadly rounds up our little live for today. We've covered off the gold story, a couple of extra little treats showing off the dials for the Autark K2, and obviously talking about this new release tomorrow. If you have any questions, please do drop us an email. lostintime@horage.com is the email where you can send any questions. Obviously, if you're on Instagram, you can also drop us a message in the DMs on Instagram if that's your preferred method. Please do let us know if you have any questions, any queries, or any feedback. Of course, we're always happy to hear what you've got to say.
I think we should get out of this, not with a thank you slide, but with a red dial ending, I think.
We'll have a red dial ending. That texture needs to be seen to.
Yeah.
So yes, please do let us know if you have any questions. Drop them over to us. We're always happy to hear from you, and we're just kind of engaging with you guys and getting the feedback where we can. So Andy is going to give us an outro showing the red dial from the Autark K2 small seconds with all of the glory of the fine granular texture on that dial. So yes, I am
closer.
the person getting my grubby hands with gloves, that is, near this dial, so can have a look.
Fascinating.
Because if I don't wear little specialized finger gloves,
it's amazing when you think about that texture. Huh? It's like, I mean, that is stamped. So you need to make a mold in order to actually stamp that texture into that dial. Code forging, yeah, kind of. We as a bike guys, we like that.
We like it.
Yeah, we like code forging. Usually do it with aluminum. How do you say that? Aluminium? English? We had this conversation.
Aluminium. if you're of my English upbringing, not my English. If you've learned English the British way rather than the American way, where it's definitely aluminum.
Yeah.
But that's an argument possibly for a different day.
Yeah. So
there we go.
I think that's a nice
thank you very much.
Goodbye picture. And thank you very much for tuning in, and I will end that broadcast now.